Like before music, like you liked school and like studying?
I did. I was really like studious. Oh, I think I just needed to do all it. Like, it was really like self-exploration, like figuring out what's happening in my head. To capture some kind of honesty and authenticity, but also to help me kind of overcome some things I was like having problems with.
Hi, today I'm here with FAZERDAZE.
Hey, what's up?
So you're Asian as well. You're half Indonesian, half European.
Yep.
What was it kind of like growing up, like Eurasian in Wellington?
I think it was cool. I mean, I don't really know anything else, but I remember being little and going to like Indonesian parties with my mum.
Yeah.
And like trying really delicious food at those parties, and growing up with like Indonesian cuisine and but also European and Kiwi cuisine too. So like I feel like when we went touring just recently in Southeast Asia, like my body was like really used to all the Asian food, and my band were like kind of struggling with it, but I was like really thriving and feeling really good. Yeah.
Where in Europe was your dad from?
Well, he was born in the UK.
Yeah.
But he moved to New Zealand as pretty much a baby, so I think he considers himself more a New Zealander.
Yeah. What was it like growing up there?
In Wellington?
Yeah.
It was cool because it's quite a small city, so it's quite manageable to, like just sort of getting into the music scene. It wasn't a really hard or daunting thing. It was sort of so small that you kind of everyone knows everyone really quickly, and I quite like that. And it's like I feel like Wellington really values culture and arts, and so it was a really inspiring place to be as like a teenager, like getting into music. And you're like, I think you said in a previous interview your mom's like Muslim and your dad's Christian. Yeah, although neither of them are fully practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and actually Dad, I don't think he's Christian anymore.
And then like since a young age you've always been like interested in like the music around Wellington, right? Like there's lots of like small acts that you said like played around. That's how you like got your early interest.
Yeah. I mean also like New Zealand as a country, like there was quite a lot of support for bands and artists. So I kind of grew up watching like music television, and lots of New Zealand artists were on music television, and so I guess that always made it feel like music was something I could do, because it was just there were people in my country doing it, and it wasn't coming from like North America, which feels so far away when you're a kid in New Zealand. Like I always just felt like bands in the US, they, as much as I loved them, I just felt like they didn't even know I existed. So, but whereas like the New Zealand music scene and the artists there, I could go and see their shows, and made it all feel accessible. Yeah.
How do you describe yourself back then growing up?
Shy and nervous and unsure of myself, pretty much how I am now, just maybe a bit more so. Yeah.
You were into school back then though, right? Like before music, like you liked school and like studying.
I did. I was really like studious.
Yeah. Do you remember what your favorite subjects were?
I quite liked science. I really liked science, and I think I got quite good grades in it.
Oh wow.
Up until a certain point, and then I was playing too much guitar, and my family life was crazy, and then I just kind of stopped my straight A grades.
Your parents like divorce played a big part of it, right?
I did, yeah, I totally did. It was like, and I don't think I really acknowledged it at the time. I was just sort of trying to keep going as if things were normal, but like also just watching my grades fall down the drain. And, like, my whole life kind of just changing.
Yeah. Why did you think like you couldn't like study as much as you could, or what about your grades slipping that happened?
I don't know. know actually. Maybe I was just a teenager. Maybe I shouldn't blame it on that. But yeah, I don't know. But also like, yeah, I was getting really into music. I was just sort of going to shows a lot and learning how to write songs and learning how to play other people's songs.
Yeah.
And that was just like, I was just so passionate about that. So.
How do you describe those early songs that you made?
Bad, terrible, cringeworthy. I don't have any copies of them, I don't think so. Or I might have an EP from my first band somewhere, but
yeah, it was like an all-girls band, right?
Yeah. It was called The Tangle, and it was like just with me and like my closest friends at high school. We just started this band, and
yeah, and that's how you thought to be like a solo artist, right? Because it was like difficult after high school to continue that.
Yeah, I just couldn't find a band as great as that one. Really, they were just so much fun. And then I moved to Auckland after that finished, and couldn't quite find the same kind of feeling of a band that I had from that band, and then I was like, well, I'm not going to let anything stop me, and I just went solo.
Yeah. And then how do you think you've like grown as a person since when you started?
Since when I started playing music?
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I've learned to accept myself a lot more. Yeah, just like accepting my like, I don't know, like feeling unsure about things, and like just I was being musicians just like helped me kind of what's the word, embrace all of that, and just like kind of see it more as a strength than as a weakness, and just to kind of be happier in myself, because I'm not ever going to be anyone else. So yeah.
What are your inspirations for all your like music videos? Like they're super like there's this specific like feel like FAZERDAZE style, just by even the color correction and everything. Do you have like specific like visual artists that you love?
I don't think I do. I'm not very clued in on the visual world. I guess it's always a little bit like I do really love film, so I suppose I'm always chasing that film look. I like that. I like how the colours look on film. It's just a bit more like there's a little bit more depth of field or something, and saturation. It's hard to articulate, but maybe I'm chasing that, and then but also it's really dictated by the music first. Like I sort of see in my head what the song asks for. Yeah.
How about like the shots itself, like sometimes like close-ups of your hand? How do you think of like these ideas?
Oh, it's all very subconscious. Like I mean, are you referring to the Lucky Girl music video? Yeah. Well, I was working with Sam Christofsky on that, and like he just sort of works on the fly. Like we had a few ideas, but I think that was his idea, and he just kind of spur of the moment says try this, and then we do it, and then later on we decide whether to keep it or not. Yeah.
And a lot of your music you talk about like is that anxiety in your relationships or like self-doubt.
Yeah.
How were you able to get so like vulnerable so early on?
Oh, I think I just needed to do all it. Like it was really like self-exploration, like figuring out what's happening in my head. To capture some kind of honesty and authenticity, but also to help me kind of overcome some things I was like having problems with.
Because you like moved around a lot when you were writing the album, right?
I was so unsettled like really unhappy. I think I cried like every day for a year. I was so unhappy, and I was working away at this album, and it was just like I don't think I could have been anything but like tender and like and really inwards looking, because I was so like really sad. What would you say have been your like key points to where you're able to get to where you're now with like touring and having your music get out there? Well, it's actually so hard to pinpoint. It's been so like there's never been any kind of huge break, so I just feel like I've just been working away at it day by day. maybe like the Lucky Girl music video
on YouTube.
Yeah, and I think like that kind of put me in front of a whole new bunch of people that hadn't heard of me before,
right?
Which was crazy. It's like, you know, like I remember the days when I was like stoked to get 100 plays, and then to like get to like 3 million.
Oh my
gosh!
Like,
I can't even fathom that. Like who are all these people, and like what are their lives like, and you know, but yeah. So maybe that was one thing when that kind of like went semi-viral, I guess. Yeah.
What would you say have been your biggest struggles so far?
Maybe figuring out how to record, I guess. Like I've been trying to I've made so many mistakes with recording, like going into studios, working with other people, and not knowing how to go about it. Maybe.
Yeah.
That was kind of hard. Or actually, no. What's been the hardest, I think, is performing.
Oh.
I think that's been the trickiest thing because it's like so. Yeah, it's just you have to kind of get it right in the moment, and like, I don't know. I just get really nervous being on stage sometimes. I'm getting better now that like I've played quite a few shows, but I still get really nervous. So.
Last question: what do you want to be remembered for?
Oh, that's such a big question. I would love to be remembered for contributing good music/art to the world. Yeah.
That's so cool. I love that. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Bye, guys.